anymore. They need to be ranked.
I give credit to the New York Yankees. This is the Sports Saga podcast presented by Aldius Electric, the Gonzalez family team of Keller Williams, Southwood Tuppa, and Smack Apparel, the official fan gear of the Sports Saga podcast. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Brady Kudo with Keegan Hamlet and the rest of our fabulous crew. Happy Selection Sunday to all those who celebrate. It's a pretty big day. And the majority of the basketball talk will be saved for the Selection Sunday live special that will be seen across Facebook. I haven't fully decided on the platform yet. I hear echo. Is that you? I don't know.
I'm muted on my Mac.
Whatever. But I want to touch upon a couple conference championship games from yesterday. I'll let you start because you actually saw the majority of the Pac-12 game. Arizona winning a nail biter. What'd you make of it?
Yeah, it was back and forth all the way through, Brady. You had a couple people foul out. It was getting a little bit intense towards the end, but Arizona with that game-winning three at the end with about 15 seconds left. That was really one of the greater moments you'll see in Pac-12 championship history, just with the crowd and the hype that it got from that shot. Now, both teams obviously are going to be in March Madness. Both of them might end up being a number one seed, depending even if one of them falls. But the way Arizona looked last night, watch out. They're going to be a dark horse.
Oh, definitely. But I think because like they're not going to both be a one seed. I think if Purdue wins today, they're a one. I think Kansas is actually might drop because they had their butts handed to them on a silver platter by Texas the other day. Houston will be a one. I think Arizona will now find themselves as a one. Purdue should be a one as long as they win, like I said. But that's it matters if you're a one, yeah, obviously, but at the same time, like it's March. You know what I mean?
Anything can happen.
Right. It's March. Like so many, like who's this year's St. Peter's going to be? Like is Charleston going to be in the Final Four? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. By the way, I did say that we're going to be taking calls and comments for those in our live stream. So if you do have something you want to say, regardless of the sport, if you want to hate on me or hate on whatever, drop a comment, request to join. You can request to join. If you don't want to show your face, you could definitely turn your camera off. So it's just your audio. I know people are stingy about that. So by all means, if you want to put your 2 cents in, I'm all for it. Go right ahead. I want to touch upon the ACC championship game. Jon Scheyer. Jon Scheyer. Let's think about this, okay? What were Duke's expectations realistically?
I don't even know.
Like what were they? They weren't high.
No, they weren't.
They really weren't. I mean, when you think about it, okay, I think Duke fans would have been satisfied with like a third place finish in the ACC and an ACC semifinal exit, and they would float in the top 25 like they did throughout the year. But what I liked, okay, and this I would have been appalled by this, is that nobody was like attacking Duke. Nobody was attacking Jon Scheyer because, if they weren't playing their best basketball. At first, we were like, okay, why are they losing so many of these early non-conference games? But nobody was like, Jon Scheyer one and done. Do you know what I mean? Like, you close out the year in the final year of the AP poll with a 21 ranking. Like they lost to Kansas, and I think that was expected. They lost to Purdue. early on in the season. Again, expected, right?
Yeah, and those are
Um,
bigger teams too. Those are like the bigger games.
and then Wake Forest happened back in December. That was rough, and I think that's when then like NC State happened, and then and then they lost to Clemson, but I mean Clemson at that time was the hottest team in the country. So then like things started to get better. Like they had a phenomenal month of February. Their only losses were to ranked opponents in Miami and Virginia. They took Virginia to overtime. So I'm happy for Duke. I'm happy for John Shire. I don't think did they release ACC Coach of the Year yet?
I have no idea.
Well, it should be John Shire, um, or or what's that dude at Clemson's name? I don't know his name, but him, because Clemson found themselves in the AP poll for the first time in a very very long time.
No, I'd go Shire though, just to take over for the legendary Coach K,
Yep.
and keeping them ranked, and they're probably going to be a top 8, top 7 seed in the
Oh yeah,
tournament.
I think they'll be along that 4 line. Jeff Capel, I think from Pitt, has a very valid argument for ACC Coach of the Year. Like Georgia Tech already fired Josh Patzner. Florida State has not fired Leonard Hamilton yet. I don't know why. We know Boeheim retired. Oh, speaking of which, there's something else I want to talk to you about. Boeheim retired. Adrian Autry is the new head coach. Georgetown. Let me say this.
I know where this is going.
Let me say this. Let me get my spiel off, and then I'll give the floor to you. Ed Cooley. And I've said this, we're going on 3 years now that I've continued to say this. If Ed Cooley wanted to leave, he would have taken the Michigan job. Like he had it. They offered him the job. He said no and then signed a lifetime contract with Providence College. Okay?
Yeah, that's what like is with me, is that like huge extension that he signed last year. So does he go back on that a year after? No.
Right.
And it's not really a higher position either.
It's real. I mean, if anything, you're down
the bottom of the table.
If anything, you're downgrading. What's up, Rob? I saw on Twitter, I was told that the 2 leading candidates for the Georgetown position were Ed Cooley and Penn State's Micah Shrewsbury.
Gerald Green.
I think Mike is going to get it. As much as the ties Ed has to Georgetown, a big inspiration for him was John Thompson. He has a daughter at Georgetown. I think he can really reincarnate Georgetown basketball.
Now, what do we think about the St. John's coach that got fired? Or do you think he would have
He
a
didn't
chance
deserve it.
to
He did not deserve it. I'm sorry. He did not deserve it. Mike Anderson, in the 20-something years he's been a head coach, has never had a losing season. He's the equivalent to Mike Tomlin, okay?
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, does he have a chance at that Georgetown job staying in the Big East?
He wasn't named. I'm just going, I think he does, but I was just going off of what the reports were. Okay. I know Jay Williams from ESPN said a dream job. I mean, I don't think that lasts very long. But it makes sense for Georgetown to go after Cooley, but does it make sense for Ed to leave his hometown team? No, right? As much as he can really, and I think he has the potential to take that program and, Phoenix, like rise from the ashes, right? Because he's got the talent there. Brandon Murray and Primo Spears are a couple of buckets. A Cook isn't bad. He's just is so injury prone. They got that other dude. I don't know. They got some other dude that's good. I don't watch Georgetown. I don't know. He has the chance to really, really make Georgetown what it was when Alonzo Mourning and AI played there in Ewing way back in the day. He really has a chance. It's just not going to happen. I want to stop the Rick Pitino to St. John's bull crap. Rick Pitino is not leaving Iona. Stop saying it. He said it multiple times. I'm not leaving here. That's not happening. Who does St. John's go after, you think?
I really don't know. Not Ed Cooley. Better not start with Ed Cooley.
Well, no, it's not going to be Ed. It's not. I mean, Ewing will be on his couch. I'm just trying to think of like, I could see them going after Josh Pastner because he really didn't have a bad spell at Georgia Tech. I mean, wasn't terrible. He's a big defensive coach, and St. John's likes to play defensive style of basketball. They have the team that's really defensive heavy.
I mean, I'll throw out one guy. He was more of last year on the hot seat. I've mentioned his name a couple of times though. But if something happens with Michigan, what about Juwan Howard?
Yeah. I mean, it's tough because he's got the roster. They just can't execute. He doesn't have the bench. His son is phenomenal. Hunter Dickinson is one of the best players in America that's not talked about enough. But the results aren't there, and it's too bad. One guy I think we're going to see his name pop up a lot, but he just signed a contract extension with the school, is Charleston's Pat Kelsey. I think we're going to see his name pop up a lot, but he just signed this massive extension with Charleston. So as much as I don't think he's going to go anywhere, I wouldn't be shocked to see him land at like St. John's or something. But stop with the Rick Pitino to St. John's. I could see like Richard Pitino to St. John's, New Mexico to St. John. That I could see. But I don't know. Something about Rick Pitino back in the big. I don't know. I don't know.
Work.
I just don't. I think he's happy where he is. He's at a smaller school. The dude is 70 years old. He's got nothing left to accomplish. He's done just about everything you can do. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a national champion. He's been to the Final Four 97 times. He's been to the tournament 800 times. Like, what else? Why go back to, you know what I mean? But there's a few solid positions open. Even just outside of the East Coast. I know Cal has their position open. They fired Mark Fox. I mean, there's no talent there. There really isn't. I could see Tom Crean leaving TV and go to coach at St. John's, but I don't know. It's another story for another day once we get more developments. But the Georgetown, that's the most interesting one, but I think it's going to be Shrewsbury. World Baseball Classic. US with a big win. Did you watch any of it?
I watched like maybe the 8th inning. That was it.
No.
Like
Well,
in between one of the UCSB games and then the UCLA game. Like I turned it on for maybe 10 minutes.
well, the United States won. I tell you, I said this earlier. That lineup, it's loaded. The pitching, man, it's just something about it. Scares me a little bit. I don't think Wainwright was a bad choice by Mark DeRosa to start game one. But I'm just concerned that in the long run, even tonight, like they have Mexico tonight, they don't have a starter picked, which, they probably, should figure that out. But I think yesterday, I don't know why I can't find the stats. Here we go. Wainwright did fine. And then they brought in the bullpen. Freeland did okay. That guy, Jason Adam, I mean, he pitched an inning, 7 strikes on 11 pitches. So, I mean, that's pretty efficient. Freeland gave up a run, but that was over 3 innings. So 23 strikes over 29 pitches. So that's not bad. But I don't think the U.S. is going to win it all again, as much as I want to see them win it. And
just look at the Dominican Republic. That's so stacked.
You know who's a sneaky good team? Venezuela. Keep an eye on Venezuela, man. That's a sneaky good lineup. Italy, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's the espresso machine they got in the dugout, but I mean, Italian baseball is back, man. Yeah, I don't know if it's Mike Piazza. Mike Piazza, by the way, I don't think they could have picked a better manager than Mike Piazza. He's so knowledgeable about the game. I think Puerto Rico is going to be a sneaky good team. Again, I think the Dominican Republic is the standard along with the United States. But it's gonna be a really interesting tournament. And speaking of tournaments, we've got our, by the way, anybody want to drop your 2 cents in on any sport, or if you want to get on a hate train or a rant, click that request to join
Yeah,
button.
come on, people.
Let's get the conversation going here. You don't want to put your camera on, that's fine. I can't make you. Just click the camera off button. There should be one of those. And fire away. Let us know what you got. I don't care the sport. Hockey. The Bees are back in the playoffs. What do you think?
Well, that win yesterday, that was shaky. But it was good to see Garnet Hathaway get his first Bruins goal. So I am happy for that. But the question down the line is going to become, how much longer are we going to keep playing our starters until we're going to rest them? Because we don't want to overwork our perfection line. We don't want to overwork Omar and goal.
Justin Vieira of the Side Drive Podcast joining us now. What's up?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Doing fantastic. What's on your mind?
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I don't think he can.
I don't think he can either.
I can hear you.
What's up?
I just wanted to pop in. Today's Sunday. I know it's not the biggest sport in our area, anyways, as far as big leagues go. But today's Sunday. It's NASCAR Sunday. We got Phoenix today. I hope you guys watch, because I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a good race. We got a lot of like we talked about on the podcast Friday night with you.
Yep.
Got a lot of cool things. A lot of cool switch ups and moves and drivers moving around in the Cup Series this week. But we had a blast with you on Friday, so I just wanted to come in, say what's up, show a little bit of my support for you guys, and hopefully you guys want all your viewers too. I said it's not a huge sport in our area, but I think if people just gave it a chance,
Yeah.
through a race, watch some of the action stuff that goes on, I think people would be impressed.
I agree. That was the last thing on my agenda, was to briefly touch upon my pick and why. But Justin, we're going to be getting them on soon. Yeah, soon. I'll be honest, I don't have a date yet, but I have a couple dates picked out. But yeah, went on. What is Robbie saying? It's a huge sport at Seekonk. Yeah. We had the chance to head out to the Providence Bruins last night. A lot of the Seekonk staff and a few of the younger racers. We had a good amount of our Bandolero divisions out there, so it was really cool to see the communities come together and all that. But yeah, Justin and DJ Pyers from the Side Draft Podcast are going to be heading on our show in a few weeks to chat NASCAR and other things. So Justin, I'll give you my pick. I guess we could get right into it. I'm looking at the field and I'm like, all right, okay, I'm going to go with Daniel Suarez. Yeah, I'm like, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling Daniel Suarez. He hasn't had a bad season. And I think he's done well at Phoenix, at least Phoenix a couple times. He ran there very, very well. I like Suarez.
A while, to watch actually race times in a couple hours, but
yeah,
we text back and forth before race time to talk about optics too. But I will say this: I'm going to go with the easy pick. All right, it's a veteran driver notorious for winning at Phoenix. Picks Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick.
I think Kevin Harvick. He's haven't seen too much. I won't say consistency, but we've seen. He's obviously on his last ride. He's going to prove that. Obviously he wants to put a nail in the coffin when it comes time to him. He's done driving, and I think Phoenix this year. Believe it or not, I said it a few weeks ago with confidence. I didn't want to come out and say it. I think he sweeps Phoenix this year, but I do not think he'll be in the championship or for the Phoenix win for the last race of the year. So he's going to make it to. He's going to get bounced in a round of 8. He's going to win Phoenix. He's going to sweep Phoenix this year. Not a championship contender though. So you heard it here first.
All right. I like it. And then, all right, Keegan, not the biggest NASCAR fan, but there is one driver that's catching. I'm trying.
Usually I'm the big Joey Logano guy. I'll switch it up this time. I'll go Kyle Larson.
Okay.
Larson. He runs well at Phoenix, and he's starting on the pole, so I think that's going to be a great race. I mean, it's honestly with the way the field is stacked up and the way that we know Phoenix can be. It's going to be a really, really interesting race. Justin, thank you for hopping on.
Thank you, Justin.
We're going to be in touch. Thanks, buddy. All right. Rob Hendrickson's going Denny Hamlin. Okay. Hamlin's starting on outside pole. I like it. Oh, you know what I was thinking about earlier, and I forgot to. Where Patrick Ewing's coaching next year?
Who?
Yes.
St. John's.
No. The Guangdong Tigers. That's what I forgot. I said I knew something. Yes. Don't hold the laughter in.
It's stupid.
Yes. Okay. Anything else you want to touch upon? I feel like we're missing something else.
Can I do a quick Celtics minute real quick?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Great game last night. Tatum dropping over 30 again. Big Al making his shot. Sam Hauser going off with a couple threes. Is at one point 4 for 4 going into the fourth quarter, I believe. But it started to get a little bit iffy down the stretch again. But you're in the middle of a 6-game road trip. So
Yeah.
And that is going to happen. But I'm interested in a few days to see the Sacramento game. That one's going to be a big game out west.
Sacramento, all credit to Mike Brown. I think he's the NBA's coach of the year. And I know we got the argument from Missoula, but I mean, when you look at the Celtic talent and when you look at the Sacramento talent, I mean, the Celtic talent is up here. And then the Sacramento talent's like, I mean, it's Fox.
They do got good talent there.
It's Fox and Sabonis, but I mean,
Herder's a nice piece too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think here's why I would give Mike Brown coach of the year over Joe Mazzulla. People expected the Celtics to be good, and they're delivering. Not many people expected Sacramento to be the 4th seed in the West. Do you know what I mean? I think that's where the line is drawn, if you will. Huge game last night. That was I didn't watch it, if I'm being totally honest. I don't know what happened at the end with him, but I will take your word for it.
Yeah, Smart did get tossed.
Nah,
he got in a little scruffle.
Whatever. Because when I'll pull up the Kings now because they beat Phoenix last night, 128-119. It's Barnes. It's Fox. What is their lineup? Fox, Herder, Barnes, Sabonis. Does Murray start for them? Keegan Murray?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know if you knew.
But I'll tell you what, I was completely
it's Davion
Sacramento
Mitchell.
because I wanted Luke Walton's head. I hated him.
Oh, I hate him too. He's a terrible coach. He is a terrible coach.
Thank you.
He really is. Because, like, all right, I'm sorry, I lied. Sacramento's the second team in the West.
Yeah. The West is so close. Like, I think the 8 seeds are separated by 3 games or something. It's so close.
What do you mean the 8 seeds?
Like the 2nd through 8, it's very close. Like Denver's ahead by 6 or 7 games.
Denver has a 5.5.
Everything
game
else is
lead.
very close.
Sacramento and Memphis are tied for second. But 2 through 8 is separated by what's 12.5 minus 5.5? 7. God. Yeah. And then the East is such a joke. It really is. Milwaukee and Boston. Boston only behind by 1.5 games. Cleveland. I tell you, Cleveland, man. Cleveland's a good basketball team. And then you got the Bulls at 31 and 36 as the last spot in the play-in. That's unbelievable. It really
And Miami's
is.
been on the down too this year.
Yeah.
Lowry missed some time with them. So
Who?
Kyle Lowry.
Oh, I thought you said Larry. I was gonna say, who's Larry? Not
Shout
your
out
friend
Larry,
Larry.
by the way.
Um,
I was at the Celtics at his house for the game last night.
Oh,
So
nice.
shout out Larry.
What do we got coming up? Trying to. Oh, live special, 6 o'clock. You want to do it here? I know. I mean, you won't be here for the whole thing, but
I have no idea. Again, I don't even know if I'm joining at all, period. So
right. But what do you think is wiser, here or Instagram?
like in terms of Facebook and Zoom?
Yeah, no, Facebook or Instagram.
No, Instagram.
Instagram. Okay.
Sorry,
Um,
Facebook people.
Well, they can follow us on Instagram. I know it's a growing app. We actually in the coming, now I could say days. Oh, Keegan's phone must have died.
My phone died, yeah.
Are gonna be on Twitch. We're gonna be broadcasting games on Twitch. Not what we're doing with Case Baseball and all that. But we are going to be legally live reacting and live streaming games on Twitch. We're going to be starting hopefully this Friday with the NCAA tournament. I have the day off from school on Friday. Keegan has a 3-hour break in between classes, which means we can squeeze a game in, which is great.
A former color cast works amazing.
What are you saying?
I said the Twitch is like going to be the former color cast. It's amazing.
Yeah. So that's exactly what it's going to be. Because Colorcast is now strictly sports betting stuff. So that's that. Yeah, I've got my NASCAR. I've got my Phoenix pick. I'm rolling with Suarez. You're rolling with Bell. There's some. Oh, Big
Larson.
10. Purdue, Penn State. Who wins?
Purdue.
I think Purdue wins. I thought Purdue was going to lose
Penn
yesterday.
State has looked good though recently. I'll tell you that.
Penn State. I mean, in Ohio State. Ohio State. I think just locked themselves in the NIT. Wait, what does NIT stand for?
National Invitational.
Not in tournament.
No, that's not what it means.
What does it mean then?
The National Invitational Tournament.
Oh, fine. It can mean both things. Okay. I just want to quickly run through the other conference championship games, at least the relevant ones. Like Ivy League, I don't know and I don't care. Oh, SEC, Bama or A&M? I gotta go Bama.
Bama, yep.
I gotta go Bama. A10, Dayton VCU. That should be interesting.
Who'd you say the teams were again?
Dayton and VCU.
VCU.
I'll roll with VCU. I like their offense. Houston or Memphis?
Houston. I know you hate Houston, but Houston. I know you hate Houston.
I'm gonna go
right,
Memphis.
whatever.
I'm gonna go Memphis. And I'll roll with Purdue in the Big Ten. I think there's gonna be one upset today. And I think that one upset, I think Memphis is gonna ball out. I really do.
Okay, that's fair.
And Memphis steals a bid. Providence over under 8 seed. No, over under 9 seed.
Under. If anything, maybe even a 9.
If the NCAA tournament is smart, if the selection committee is smart tonight, like ratings wise, Kentucky's going to be an 8 seed. Providence is going to be a 9 seed.
Okay.
Do you know why?
No. Mhm.
Bryce Hopkins revenge game.
Oh God. Okay.
All
Tyler.
I'm going to say, if they're smart, Kentucky will play Providence in the first round. of the
Haven't the
NCAA.
last 3 games been a Bryce Hopkins revenge game?
No, because B Hop played at Kentucky before he.
Yeah, I know that, but
Okay. Any but I'm going to introduce a new segue. Any shout outs? You want to give any shout outs?
Shout out to Keegan Hamblett and Dean College. Shout out UMass Lowell.
You can't shout out yourself.
Shout out UMass Lowell. 1 game away from March Madness. Great
Yeah,
year.
and they locked themselves in the CBI. Which
All
I
right,
learned was
whatever.
a thing the other day.
Whatever. All right. Shout out Somerset Hockey, as always. Boys forever.
Oh my god. All right.
Yeah. Shout out Jen and Jay Jones.
Oh, thank you. I want to give one shout out. I want to shout out Jill Amorin, one of our photographers at the Speedway. Sat next to her and her family at the P Bruins game last night. She got 2 little girls. They are so much fun. Hi Casey, hi Ariel. That's that. That's that. Happy birthday, CB. We all love you. We miss you, buddy. For Keegan, I'm Brady. See you later.